King Rossz leaned back in his chair, a satisfied smile on his lips, as he watched Turul's strained and taut figure. The captive's body was stretched fully, muscles pulled to their limits, unable to sway or find relief. The proud warrior's physical strength was now a source of agony rather than power. But it was not enough. The flames had merely softened the flesh, preparing it for what was to come. The real punishment was about to begin.
You know, slave.
Rossz began, his voice dripping with false sympathy.
Killing so many of my men is a feat, but a crime that must be paid for.
He paused, letting his words sink in for his muscular victim and the captive audience of prisoners and guards.
And the payment is double. Double the lashes, for double the crime.
The chained warrior's only response was a strained grunt, his eyes narrowing in defiance and resignation. He knew what was coming and could do nothing to stop it. Two wardens took their places on either side of the young rebel's suspended body. The angled upside-down positioning necessitated an intricate motion, combining upward and forward strikes to land the lashes precisely. This method, a cruel form of artistry, demanded greater effort, translating to intensified pain for their victim. The first lash came without warning, igniting a searing line of pain across the well-built prisoner's exposed back. His body jerked in response, a low-pitched grunt escaping his throat. Then another lash, this one from the other side, landed with a brutal precision that only added to his agony. The double whip was a torture of its own, the wardens at either side coordinating their strikes without pattern or rhythm. Their seemingly random timing added psychological torment to the physical agony. Turul was unable to anticipate or brace himself for the next strike. His muscles tensed and relaxed in a constant battle, flexing in response to the vicious lashes. With every lash, the sculpted body seemed to arch and contort more under the pain that crawled and twisted inside him. His back became a canvas for the warden's cruel artistry, and the whips were their brushes, painting a portrait of suffering and humiliation. His muscles writhed and spasmed under the brutal assault, each strike causing a ripple effect that spread outwards like stones cast into a still pond. His skin was now marked with welts and bruises, evidence of his torment. The wardens pursued their grim task, expressions emotionless, as they meted each blow, ruthlessly. It was a dark and twisted dance, staged for the king's enjoyment. Rossz observed with unfeeling, analytical eyes, every lash nurturing the wicked pleasure inside him. He sensed that he was gradually dismantling the captive legend, each strike inching him closer to complete subjugation. Turul's mind fought to find a place of refuge, a way to endure the unendurable. But the pain was relentless, a tide that swept over him, drowning him in a sea of agony. Doubts crept in, gnawing at his resolve, making him question whether he could endure this vicious punishment. His body's physical reactions were beyond control, but somewhere within the depths of his soul, a refusal to give his tormentors the satisfaction of breaking him entirely. Rossz's irritation grew as the torture continued. The whips cracked and lashed, each striking an orchestrated performance to break the seasoned fighter's will. But the man remained defiantly silent, his face a mask of stoic endurance. His only response to the relentless pain was a series of guttural sounds, brief and contained, betraying the agony without yielding to it.
You think you can deny me my satisfaction?
Rossz snapped, his voice cracking like a whip itself. He turned to the chief warden, a hulking brute, renowned for his strength.
Join them.
The king commanded.
Make him feel it.
The chief warden moved behind the Manacles hero, his whip a monstrous, thickly braided instrument designed for maximum pain. The two wardens on the sides continued their brutal dance, their lashes landing with calculated precision. And then the chief's whip joined the symphony of suffering, a deeper note that resonated with pure agony. Turul's body was thrown into a new level of torment. Each lash was a thunderous assault, rippled through his flesh, and resonated in his very core. His muscles, already taxed and strained, convulsed in a desperate struggle, seeking escape, but finding none. The triple whips left no room for recovery, no moment to catch a breath or steel himself for the next strike. His face was contorted in agony, but he clenched his teeth tightly, his jaw set firm, suppressing the screams that threatened to escape. The other slaves watched in horror, their faces pale, and their eyes wide with disbelief. The brutality of the punishment was beyond anything they had seen before.
By the gods! How can he endure?
One whispered, his voice trembling with fear and awe. Another responded, a note of respect in his voice.
He's a warrior, a true leader. He won't give them the satisfaction.
Rossz's face twisted into a snarl, his anger growing with each silent response to his punishment, his failure. Finally, he raised his hand, signaling for the wardens to stop. He stared into Turul's eyes, searching for any sign of submission, but finding only defiance.
You impress me, slave.
The king said, his voice dripping with sarcasm.
But this is only the beginning.
His mind had already moved on to the next stage of his twisted game. This powerful captive had proven to be a worthy adversary, and he was more determined than ever to break him.